What is going on, my people? Hold on. Let's fix this. There we go. What is going on, my people? Shout out to everybody in Seminole Nation, the Florida State family, and the 863 tribe. We didn't do an episode last week, but here we are with another episode, episode 25 of the Hangover. We are live, we are in charge, and we are about to get this thing rolling. We're going to talk about the potential new name of the stadium. Let's talk about the fact that A.J. Duffy pushes his recruitment back and says he will be attending the spring game. Looks like all three of FSU's targeted quarterbacks will be in attendance April 10th at the spring game. We're going to also review a little bit of the scrimmages that have been going on. People have been completely overreacting to these scrimmages, but we'll touch on that a little bit. But I know why everybody's here. I ruffled some feathers. I put a take out there that I stand by. And I'm going to support that take and I'm going to defend myself. And all I ask is that we throw the emotion away for the next hour and 30 minutes or so. And just get presented with the facts. And then you make your determination on that. I don't want to see Mr. Odell Haggins go. But I think it's time we call a spade a spade. We present some facts. And go from there. But we're going to do all of that and more on this week's episode of The Hangover. So stay tuned. Get ready. We in here, baby. Let go. Scrimmage your shit. Need a pawn in the drum roll.
Never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Yo, what is going on, my people? 863 tribe, what is up? It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV, a.k.a. a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And I'm not going to waste any time, but I must say, I know y'all see that thing in the back right there. Don't act like you don't see it. I'm going to move so y'all can see it. She brand new. She's sitting there all lovely. Y'all see it? Yeah, man. I'm going to let y'all see it. You better get you one. Don't be a peasant much longer. Get you one of them bad boys. Oh, Rose say it. Get you one. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say is get you one. But anyway, here we are. Let's hit a roll call, and then we're going to dive into these topics because I don't want to waste you guys' time because I really want to get into the topic, the big topic. We're going to cover a lot, but I want to get into the big topic because I got a lot of backlash. Some good questions, some good rebuttals, and some, I don't know, man. Sometimes you guys just say things that are completely irrelevant to the actual conversation that was being had. But let's get into this roll call, and then we'll get on to the actual topic at hand. So I got Antonio Dupree, Wayne Tillman, You Can't Handle the Truth Podcast, Island Boy, Jose Garcia, Irv Gotti, Priscilla, Tano, Mason, Florida State Love, No Squad, Wayne Tillman, and Todd Pope. And I'm sure there will be more here shortly. So hit that like button on your way in if you haven't hit it yet. By the way, Check the numbers, guys. We are what? We're 9 away. We're 9 away from 1,000. We're almost there. We're almost there. William Washington, No Blooded, John Shields, Tyler Hedden. There we go. We're 9 away, guys. We're almost to 1K. We're almost to 1K. Serve 5. Let's do it. Let's get into the topics, and then we'll get into the big bad POLK saying big bad mean things about our beloved Seminoles. Let's just get into the topics first and foremost. Offensive guard transfer from Kent State, Julian Sams, 6'3", 300-pound guard, has received. He's a transfer out of Kent State, so he's in the portal currently. Had received an offer from Florida State, a 6'3", 300-pound guard out of Kent State. To touch on him real quick, I saw a little bit of his Kent State film. I don't think he's necessarily a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't know why we would use a scholarship on a 6'3" guard. I think we have enough of those on the roster personally. I would have assumed we would be trying to find more of a offensive tackle type body. But I guess we'll trust in Atkins and his vision there, and we'll see. Maybe the kid's just a player, or maybe they will put him inside, and maybe they plan on moving someone to the outside. I don't know. Maybe they plan on putting him at center. I've heard, and this will go into the conversation of scrimmage. Heard there was the last scrimmage, a lot of bad snaps. Maybe maybe the center position to them is more of a pressing need than necessarily tackle. So, yep. Kent State transfer Julian Sams has received an offer from FSU. We'll see if he takes that up or not. AJ Duffy pushes back his recruitment. I think it was supposed to be today or tomorrow. I think it was supposed to be today. But he pushes back his recruitment. He'll be on campus April 10th for the spring game, along with MJ Morris and Nico Marchiol. 3 potential quarterbacks on campus at one time. I wonder what that conversation is going to be like for those 3 young men. FSU made the top 10 for a 4-star tight end, Caden Helms. So we got to put that out there. And then Emmett Rice, which I think everybody probably already knows this, but he will miss the remainder of spring. And it's rumored, it's up in the air whether it's an ACL or what. We don't know if he's going to be out for just the spring or he's potentially done for the year. But that's bad news for Emmett Rice. I know he's looking to have his money year. Looking to have his money year with potential NFL consideration. And then the stadium name. Let's get into the stadium name. This one's going to be a little bit longer on the stadium name. I see Lenoris, how you doing? What should be the new name? So here's the backstory or whatever. Apparently there's a committee that has voted to change. I think there was a petition or something to keep the name, and it was downvoted, something to that effect. Don't quote me all the way on it. But essentially, it has been upheld that Florida State will change the stadium name. So now the question becomes, what's going to be the name? There's really 2 options here. To me, you completely rename it. There's the real simple one. The real simple option is you change the name. Maybe you change the field name to something else, to like, I don't know, Mickey Andrews Field or something like that. But obviously, the stadium name goes to Bobby Bowden. That's a good that's a good thing. Bobby's 90 plus years old. I mean, if you were going to do that, now would be the time. You know, realistically speaking, Coach Bowden isn't going to be with us very much longer. That's just the way life works. He's in his 90s. So if you're going to do it, I guess now would be the time. And it'd be a good thing. It would be a very beautiful thing, I think, to see FSU rename Doak Campbell into Bobby Bowden Stadium, or however they would go about it. I'm for it. Not necessarily my number one choice, if I'm being completely honest. Me personally, I'd much rather, and I know this is the more the name of the stadium would probably be a lot more corny. But I'll get a sponsor. Like I'm okay with having Florida State play at uh 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 Amazon Stadium. Like me personally, I'm okay with that. You need that sponsorship money. If you got to play in UPS Stadium, then that's what we got to do. I would really like for them to kind of look into that option more. That's just my personal opinion there. I'm okay with Bobby Bowden Stadium. Don't get me wrong, but I would kind of like them to kind of look at their options and can we get a big time sponsor, Chick-fil-A Stadium or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't be against that. I know the name doesn't hold the same, the name doesn't hold the same, as it would be if it was Bobby Bowden. And I think we've all gotten so used to calling dope that it's like, dope just kind of rolls off the tongue, right? But I'd be okay with playing in Chick-fil-A Stadium or the McDonald's facility. I don't know. So that's just my personal thoughts on the stadium name personally. The program needs some money. Go get some money. If you're not going to go that route, fine. And Tyler brings up a good point that I didn't mention. So I will put this out there. Either it's going to be Bobby Bowden or get with the tribe and name it something. Like he said, pay homage to the Seminole tribe. If you're not going to do Bobby Bowden and you don't want to go the corporate route, well, you need to get with the tribe and let's figure something out that'll pay homage to them. So those are your three options. Shout out to Tyler for that third option. No, we're not doing RB Stadium because no one eats at Arby's, so that's not enough money for us to name it RB Stadium. The hell with that. No, we're not naming it RB Stadium, Rose. We're not doing that. Patent 1984 in the building. What's going on? Now, we're in the scrimmages. I don't really have a lot on the scrimmages. I don't think you sit down and you need to diagnose and dissect 2 scrimmages in early March. Now we're in late March now. But at the time of these scrimmages, we don't need to sit down and be dissecting the fact that in one scrimmage, the offensive line had a bad outing and jumping off bridges and buildings. But in the first scrimmage, it was talked about pretty much how the offensive line had a good showing in the first scrimmage. Trayshawn Ward in the first scrimmage was all the rave. He was running the ball well. The offensive line was opening up holes for him. He has good vision, good all of this stuff. Josh Burrell and Malik McClain have been names throughout spring practice that have been tearing it up. And one scrimmage on a Saturday, they had a bad outing, and we're going to sit here and we're really about to die. We're about to just, the sky is falling. Now, I know I'm a little late on the second scrimmage, and I know the conversation was a lot more heated around the actual time. And I'm a little late on that second scrimmage. And honestly, I'm late because I didn't really feel like talking about it. Because there's nothing to talk about, in my opinion. The offensive line is going to struggle. You want to know why the O-line is going to struggle? Two of your better offensive linemen aren't participating. One in Love Taylor, and I believe the second one ain't even on the roster yet, whoever that may be. But whoever they bring in will probably be your second or third at the worst best offensive lineman. So 2 of your best offensive linemen aren't even on the roster yet. But that's just me. Of course, Milton is going to struggle a little bit. He's learning a new system. Playing football really for the first time in 2 years. He needs to get the cobwebs off. He'll be fine. He has a whole summer to do all of these things. But we're jumping off the bridge and we're on suicide watch because of a couple bad plays. Because they had a bad scrimmage. Okay, cool. They had a bad scrimmage. They'll be fine. Our linebackers are missing their leader in Emmett Rice. I can go throughout the entire roster and say, okay, our wide receivers, yes, they're going to have bad performances. They're going to have practice where they don't play up to par because they're extremely young. There's a reason why you've really only heard about these freshmen when it comes to this wide receiving core. There's a reason why you haven't heard much. I haven't heard Jordan Young's name once. Is Jordan Young still on the team? Anybody want to tell me? Is Jordan Young still on the team? I haven't heard his name. Is that my dog? No, that's not mine. Ontario Wilson, his name is mentioned every now and then. Keyshawn's is mentioned every now and then, but for the most part, they're really focusing on the young guys. Well, guess what? Partridge and Dustin Hill, who will contribute year one. I am a firm believer of that. You can write it, hold me to that one. I think Dustin Hill will have a big impact year one, even without the spring. Your two best receivers probably aren't on the roster yet. And we can go on and on about the fact that the roster's all not there in the spring. It's never always there in the spring. This is every spring. You got kids that come in the spring, kids that won't be there till the summer. Yet we're pretending like it's a done product and on March the 14th on a Saturday, and all hell's broken loose. That's all I really wanted to say on the scrimmage. I really didn't. That's why I didn't do a show last week, because I didn't feel like it was even worth my time. But since I wanted to do a show this week, I figured why not mention it and just give my thoughts on it. It's all a work in progress. Let's not pretend like this team didn't win 3 games last year. There's going to be struggles in their real first spring together as a team. But it's not a reason to act like the sky is falling. Seminole Nation. But I know the 863 tribe. I know the guys in my chat. I know we're smart fans and we don't act like that. But I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to get that out there because I really want to get into the main topic today. The topic that had everybody triggered at me yesterday. Hold on a second. Topic that had everybody triggered. Oh, man, I had everybody come for my head. Some people agree with me. A lot of people didn't. So that's what we're going to dive into next. But before I dive into it, let's see what you guys are talking about in the comment section. By the way, I didn't plug it. If you can't catch me on YouTube, I am on Podbean and Spotify. This episode will be downloaded after we get off live. So by all means, if you can't catch it here, for whatever reason, go to those platforms. You can listen to me while you drive, do other things, and you don't have to sit here and look at my ugly face. So, but you can definitely look at that pretty thing in the background. Hold on. Trying to get the camera. Look at that. You can look at that. Anyway, let's see what we got. I think Lenore's just smoked like a pound of weed or something, or took a shot of heroin or some crack. This man just asked me, do you think we have a big chance of getting your best man to turn on you and come to us? Now, I don't even probably need to entertain that one. I'll let you guys entertain that. Because if he's talking about who I think he's talking about, yeah. No one even will entertain that for a second. Tyler says, I'm fine with changing the stadium name. Okay, I read Tyler's already. Yeah. Okay, so I'm past these comments. I'm impressed with Trayshawn Ward is doing. Trayshawn Ward was credited very well in that first scrimmage. Yet, everybody act like that second scrimmage is what the team's going to be. Like they can't afford to have a bad scrimmage. What up, Dan Squatch? Pass blocking receivers will be something to continually watch. It's something that's going to continue to develop, D. Thompson, obviously. 2 most inconsistent positions on the field on the offense, I think, would be safe to say. Probably the 2 youngest positions, safe to say. They're also missing key pieces at the moment. That's just how I feel on that one. Some people wait for bad things to happen. That's what Priscilla says. Who do you think is a better QB between MJ Morris and Duffy? Good question. I think Morris has the higher upside. I think right now Duffy might be and I'm not really highly impressed with Duffy, but I do think Duffy right now is a more complete prospect than MJ Morris. I think Morris has the higher upside, though. This is development season, sweat, bleed, and now there you go. A word is Preston Daniel and Ward are on scholarship watch. I figured that. I need people to get off Milton this spring, and the man is still not 100. If you don't think Rodemaker is going to be that's another thing, man. People were saying Rodemaker's even better than Milton. Well, Rodemaker should have a little bit of a heads up on Milton. Rodemaker's been in this system for an entire year. He should at least know the terminology, know what the coach looking and wants to see. But I'm sorry, I said it last year, and I'm going to double down on it this year. I said it last year before the season. I said, if we see Tate Rodemaker at any point during the season, we're in trouble. Well, lo and behold, we saw him. We won 3 games. That's the same thing for this year. If we see Tate again starting a game, now injuries are different. If guys get hurt, we're in trouble anyway. So I won't hold. But if for whatever reason they go into a game with everybody healthy and they decide Tate Rodemaker is the guy, Florida State's in trouble, folks. Cancel any thoughts of having a good season. I said it last year. You can count me on it again this year. It's not me killing Tate Rodemaker, but we got better options there. And Tate Rodemaker is a work in progress. It's good to hear that he is growing, but he's a work in progress. Thank you, Lenoris. What's up, Ogun? Polk, I'm coming. Hold on. It skipped on me, Panama. I was just about to read your comment, and I can't even find it now. Polk, I'm coming for your head about even making a video talking about. All right, we about to talk about it. Stay tuned. We about to get on it. I know damn well we ain't talking about Travis Hunter. I don't know who he talking about, Jordan. I don't know who he talking about. I know he ain't talking about Hunter. That's why I didn't even entertain it. I'll let you talk about it. I'm not even entertaining that. We have receipts. Come on now. We acted as if Milton was the next great when he announced he was transferring. Now that he's here and realized he's a backup, we're all making excuses. We don't know if he's a backup. If you're gonna say Milton's a backup off for 2 scrimmages, I don't know if I can even really talk football though with that. I can't do that. 2 scrimmages, and we're already declaring Milton is 3rd string. Okay. What up, Maiden Day? Duffy has pushed back his commitment. He was scheduled for this week. Yeah. Talked about that. Irv. Duffy's going to ASU. That was the consensus, only for him to put. The fact that he's pushing back his commitment, I don't know if ASU is still the leader. I'm not saying we are. But he's been linked to ASU, Dan Squatch, all summer. Well, excuse me, not summer, sorry. All winter and spring. He was supposed to announce this week. The fact that he's not announcing says he's having second thoughts. What's your impression of the line so far? I know we're recruiting both, but who would you rather have? Austin. I'd rather have Austin. If I had to choose one, I'd have the kid out of Atlanta, Perry. If I had to choose one, and that's no knock on Glover, I graduated from Lake Gibson High School, so I'm all about my Braves. And I'm definitely all about my kids out of Polk County. But yeah, I think Austin's the better talent personally. Polk, why you flex? You see it back there, Maiden Day. You see it. I ain't trying to flex it. I'm just saying. You see that mug back there, though. I'm just saying. All right, let's get into it. I know, because this is why 46 people are in the building. Hit the like button, by the way. And if you're not subscribed, man, we are 9 away from 1,000. So if you tune in, you're not subscribed, help me get to that 1,000 mark, because we almost there. T2I in the building, what's up? But this is why y'all came here, all right? This is why y'all came. We did a Friday night live stream with me and my 2 homies, Jurg and Terrence, who y'all will consistently see more on the channel. Also, me and Jurgen, we will be doing our own channel, by the way, coming up very shortly, where it'd be more focused on high school football in the state of Florida. Definitely Miami, Florida State related, since he's the Miami fan, obviously, and I'm a Seminole. But kind of more, high school recruiting and all of that good stuff there. Just that. So we did a live stream, called it the Triple Shot, and we went over a ton of different topics. I did a bunch of little separate videos to kind of show, because it was a 4-hour live stream. You guys aren't going to watch 4 hours most likely. Did a bunch of little separate videos to show what we talked about. Well, the one that got all the traction, the one video that everybody wanted to talk about. I came on here. Hold on, guys. I'm slacking. There we go. I came on here and I said, maybe it's time for Odell to call it quits, or maybe it's time for Florida State. I don't never want to call for a man's job. Okay. And I don't necessarily want Odell to be just flat fired and kicked out of the program, but it may be time to move him. It may be time to move him to a different area of the program. Just do something different with him, right? And boy, did you guys show up and show out for that. As a matter of fact, let me get some of the. This is some of the replies, man, I got on that video. You guys were not. A lot of you guys just were not happy. Let me get to the video. There we go. A lot of you guys just weren't happy, and I'm gonna call you out and I'm gonna read your stuff. William Washington says Odell saved our butts a couple of times as an interim coach. He's loyal as they come. I agree with Zozuki. We need to get him young assistants. Ogun says, let's just get this out the way. No, but I'm still gonna tune in. Zoe says not yet. Bring in the young assistants. Marcus Lewis, Odell's putting guys in the NFL. Is he? We'll talk about that here in a minute. Rob Taylor asked me, said, name these blue chips that we've been getting in the last 4 years at any position. Oh, wait. We're going to talk about that too, Rob. So I hope you're tuned in. Mr. H.A. Double says, that's a big hell no. It's because of Odell that we've been able to get a lot of the guys we've got in the past. Keyword there is past. We're going to get into that. The reason that every coach that's been here has kept him is because he's good at what he does. He's not going anywhere because he has very good rapport with the African-American kids. Okay. Panama says, not yet, Polk. Let's keep it real. Odell has been stretched out thin, doing other duties such as intern coach twice. That is taken away from his ability to devote to the defensive line. Let's just pause for a minute on letting Odell go. Ogun came back and said, listen to your argument, and damn, I hate to say it, but you were right. I was thinking with my heart, which is what a lot of you guys are doing, thinking with your heart, but we're going to get into it. Dan Squash, you wrote a lot, bro. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to read all of that. But you wrote a whole lot. But it was in defense of Odell. But we're gonna get into some of those points that you bring up. We're gonna get into those. And then of course people keep saying, what other guys have we recruited? So let's do it. This is the hard truth that this is the hard truth, man. If you watch the original video, I said the last 3 to 4, which would be 2021 to what? 2018. I actually extended it to 2016 because if I only did the last 3 years like I initially said, my argument would actually be even better. So I said, you know what? Let's give Odell the benefit of the doubt. I went from 2016 to 2021. In that time frame, FSU has signed a total. First of all, before I get into that, let's define what a blue chip prospect is, because I'm not even sure some of you understand what a blue chip prospect is with some of your rebuttals that I was getting. A blue chip prospect is anything 4-star and above, consensus 4-star and above. Your 4 stars usually start coming around the 300 some odd, about the low to, I would say the low 300 rankings is where your 4 stars start to appear. So I would say from about 330th ranked player in the nation and down, right? Yeah, and down would be your 4 stars. Those are usually your 4 stars. Those are blue chips. 4-star recruit and above are blue chips. So not 5 stars, right? So I'm giving him 5 and 4 stars in this debate that I'm bringing it up. So now that we define what a blue chip is, FSU from 2016 to 2021 has signed 63 total blue chip prospects. 5 are defensive tackles. Now let's even go into deeper context on those numbers real quick. Defensive tackle is a premium position. What do I mean by premium position? It's a position that is in high demand. You don't have a lot of true defensive tackle type kids, bodies, those type of bodies. When we're talking about true, especially in the South, which is where when I continue this argument, you'll see I really focus on the southern states. True defensive tackle type bodies. You're talking a kid between usually 6 foot to 6'3", 300 pounds. This is a kid this is your Derek Noddy type bodies. These Timmy Jernigan is in that mold. These are the guys that we're referring to. These are true defensive tackle types, guys who are listed as defensive tackles, but that's really the body type you're looking at. Those type of players are premium. Teams as a whole, even the best teams, even the best recruiting teams, don't sign a lot of them. First of all, you don't play a lot of them. Most teams probably don't go 5-6 deep on the defensive tackle rotation. But because when we're talking about blue chips, those are premium positions that a lot of people across the entire country want. You're not going to sign typically a lot, and you'll see that those 5 are actually kind of in line with the rest of the country. But here's the problem. Again, going into context, 5 blue chips were defensive tackles from 2016 to 2021. And I'm strictly talking defensive tackles. I know a lot of people wanted to deflect and say, well, Odell's recruiting defensive ends too, and he's recruiting other positions. I got it. But last time I checked, he's a defensive tackle coach. Last time I checked, defensive tackle is a serious position of need right now at Florida State and hasn't been playing up to par the last 2-3 years. So I'm focusing on the position coach at that position. Your defensive tackle coach does me no good if he can also recruit a running back. Thank you, but you're not coaching him, and that running back's not going to save your job. Your position is going to save your job. So when you want to deflect and you want to talk about other positions that he's recruiting at, fine. He's a defensive tackle coach. That's what we're going to focus on. Out of those 5, 2 of them medically disqualified. We never got anything out of them. That's Cedric Wood. I even have the names of these guys if you guys want me to put the names out there. But that's Cedric Wood, and that's Jalen Parks. So that brings the number down to 3. Those are 3 defensive tackles that we recruited that actually signed with the team. Another caveat, we actually recruited a little bit more. In actuality, Odell recruited 7 blue chip defensive tackles. The problem is 2 of those guys never even made it on campus. They didn't academically qualify, so they don't count. And I did the same thing when I looked at some of these other schools. I did not count guys that didn't enroll in the school. So a lot of schools also signed some guys, but they didn't count if they didn't enroll. You can sign a guy, but if he never steps foot on campus, he doesn't count. So Shavar Manuel and Emmanuel Rogers, 2 other blue chip defensive tackle prospects that don't count because they never even stepped foot on the campus. So 3. Out of the 5, 3 actually played for Florida State. Let's compare that to, first, I won't go too high. Let's compare it to our rivals, because at the end of the day, we have to out-recruit Florida and Miami. If we can't out-recruit Florida and Miami, we're at the bottom tier. In that same time span, UF signed the same amount. They signed 5 blue chip defensive tackles. Now, I did not go into the depths of UF and look and see who academically or who, well, I did do academically. I take that back. I did see who didn't academically qualify, to be fair, but I did not go and look at who was a medical DQ later on in their career, right? So I don't know that. I know we signed the same amount as UF, and a time frame where UF was coming off some of their worst seasons. They were able to sign the same amount of blue chip defensive tackles that we were. Okay. Only signed 3 during that span. So we were able to out-recruit by 2, even though that 2 kind of doesn't count because the 2 guys we recruited they medical DQs. So they didn't really get to play. We never got anything out of Cedric Wood or Jalen Parks. Did we? I don't think so. So UF with 5, with 3. Then I chose 4 other teams. 1, 2, 3, 4. All teams in the Southeast that we consistently recruit against for these defensive tackles. Clemson signed a total of 8 blue chips in that same time span. Bama signed 11 in that time span. Auburn. Yeah, I chose Auburn. Auburn signed 7 in that time span. And Georgia signed 9 in that same time span, where Florida State signed 5. So Odell's pretty status quo when it comes to the blue chips. Okay, we're right there. We got out-recruited by all, I wouldn't call Auburn one of the big boys, but we consistently have to recruit against them for these type of players. But for Georgia, Bama, Clemson, we're below them. We're tied with UF, and we should be out recruiting UF, but okay. And we out-recruited by 2. If you add in the non-blue chip prospects, so these are your 3 stars and below. Total from 2016 to 2021, guys who were listed as defensive tackles, FSU signed a total of 10. So they signed a total of 10 blue chips and 10 defensive tackles who were 3-star and below. 2 of the 3 guys have transferred. Excuse me. Yeah, 2 of those 3 guys have transferred. I'm going to name them out to you. Wally Aime, who was a JUCO guy, who I think we only got for a year. Jamarcus Chapman, True Thompson, Malcolm Ray, and Corey Durden. Out of that, Corey Durden is easily the one that we got the most use out of. Corey Durden is the only player on that list. I think you could probably put True in the same category. True's a steady rotation piece, but I don't know how good True Thompson really is. Corey Durden is the only one who gave you a steady dose of snaps in his time at Florida State, and he's no longer on the team anymore. Wally Aime, again, he was a JUCO guy. I think we only got a year out of him. Chapman's gone. Malcolm Ray hasn't done anything yet, and True Thompson is ho-hum, I guess you can say. So that's 10. Clemson signed 11. UF 8. Bama 14. UF signed 8. Auburn signed 11. And Georgia signed 14. So, again, am I crazy just from the numbers? Just from the raw numbers, am I crazy to say we've been out-recruited pretty bad at that? Not only from a number standpoint, where 10 is 1 less than, 10 is 2 more than UF and UM. But we've been out-recruited by Auburn, UGA, Clemson, and Bama. Are we still? I don't know, man. What else do I kind of have to say? And that's not even counting how many of those 3 stars that are Clemson, that are Bama, that are Auburn, that are Georgia, they actually developed and played bigger than their rankings. Because out of the 3 stars that I named, ain't now one of them developed, with maybe the exception of Corey Durden. Again, that's the only guy that we kind of got anything out of. Out of the 3 guys I named, out of the 3 stars that I named, who's playing above their ranking right now? I just want an answer. So those are just the raw numbers from 2016 to 2021. Raw numbers, raw commits of what we're doing compared to the guys in the Southeast that we have to recruit these players for. That's not even taking into account the actual play on the field. I didn't even really talk about it, did I? I started talking about it at the end. Oh, who were the 5 blue chips, by the way? Here, I got those. I got that for you too. I want to talk about those blue chips too. Those 5 blue chip guys: Cedric Wood, Marvin Wilson, Jalen Parks, Robert Cooper, and Dennis Briggs were the blue chips. They were the 5 blue chips. Marv had a good career. We'll just leave it at that. Very disappointing senior season. I think he had a solid career up until his senior year. Cedric Woods, again, nothing out of him. Jalen Parks, unfortunately, nothing out of him. Coop, this is his money year, most likely. I think he's been a solid rotation guy to this point. And same thing with Briggs. He's been a solid rotation guy up until this point. So your blue chips aren't standing out. They're not playing up to blue chip level. Your 3 stars aren't developing and outplaying their rankings. You're getting out-recruited by the big boys in the South. And you're telling me that what has Odell did lately? And the only thing that he's done to combat this is to try to sign jumbo defensive ends and transform them into D tackles. Yeah, that was the plan with Malcolm Lamar. Remember him? Oh, by the way, he's transferred and he's gone. That was an Odell guy. Well, he's more of a Willie guy. But Odell helped recruit him. And see, Dan Squash, I can't rock with your narrative because Auburn isn't the top half of the SEC. You're absolutely wrong. And Florida only got into the top half of the SEC, the last 2 years. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you guys are getting in your emotions. I didn't say the last 2 years. I went all the way back to 2016. What was Florida doing in 2016? When did they come off that 4-win season? Was that 2015-ish? Somewhere? Come on now. Auburn, there's a reason why Gus is fired. Because Auburn has been continuously underperforming. And yes, I am going to compare them to Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia because you have to recruit against those guys to get those players, no matter what way you want to shape it, cut it, make excuses for it. I don't care what you think about Florida State. In fact, that they've had all this turnover. At the end of the day, we are recruiting against those teams to get those players. And if Odell is the guy that you're telling me he is with all this, everything that we talk about Odell is from 10 years ago, not the last 5 years. If guys can keep their job from 10 years ago, then damn it, nobody ever deserves to get fired. Stop holding on to the past. Eddie Goldman, Timmy Jernigan, Corey Simon, Darnell Dockett, Travis Johnson, those guys are gone and they've been gone for a long time now. We're in a whole new era and he's not getting it done, period. Of course, I'm going to compare him against Georgia and Alabama and Clemson. That's who he has to recruit against, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. He's also recruiting against Miami and Florida. That's just facts. That's just the facts, unfortunately. And again, we get in our feelings because it's Odell Haggins. If you erase the name Odell Haggins and you put that resume again on any other coach at any other position, everybody would be like, oh yeah, man, that guy's not getting it done. He needs to go. Then you reveal the name and like, hold on now, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Yeah, they had the same reserves about Bobby Bowden. Everybody was holding on to what Bobby did in the 90s. But when it came time to the mid 2000s, it was just time to go. And everybody didn't like it. They didn't like it. Turned out Florida State was pretty right in that decision to let Bobby walk or force him out the door. Let's be honest about it. Jimbo took the helm and won a national championship. You can't be mad about that. Was it a bad look? Maybe it was a bad look that you kicked the guy who built this thing from nothing out. But it was time. I don't think anybody can sit back here and deny that at that time, nobody can sit in hindsight and say that was the wrong move. Everybody can sit in hindsight and say, yeah, you know what? It was kind of messed up the way Florida State did them. Nobody liked the fact that they forced Bobby out the door. But you know what? At the end of the day, FSU made the right decision on Bowden. Guess what, man? It's the same thing here with Odell. Sorry, folks. You guys don't want to hear it, but it's the damn truth. If you fired Odell today, you look back 5 years from now and say, man, you know what? They made the right decision. Instead, what you guys are going to do is you guys want to hold on to Odell for another 5 years. And then when the decision's easy, oh, okay. But see, good and great, the difference between a good and a great program or elite programs is they know when to make the decisions. They know when to make the decisions. And I'm not even saying take Odell behind the shed and put him out of his misery. Let's just retire the racehorse and let him walk around the track and carry kids on his back instead of racing now, and earn another way of living in the program that way. I'm not saying take him behind the back and send him to the glue truck. But what you guys want to do is you guys want to do that. What you guys want to do is worse than what I want to do. You guys want to wait till it's a blatant till he's a blatant weakness, which to me kind of already is, but okay, we can argue that. But you guys want to wait till you can't even defend it no more and then say, okay, yeah, let's get rid of Odell then. Then it's worse. Then it's okay, you got no choice but to fire him. And that's not even what I want to do. Let's just move him to another position and do something else with him. I still think Odell's a valuable recruiter because to Odell's credit, he does recruit more than just defensive tackles. He absolutely does. Put him the head of recruit. I mean, I think Ryan Bartow has that now, but why he can't team up with Ryan Bartow and they spearhead a dynamic recruiting across the country? Odell's got the DMV area on lock and Central Florida on lock, and Ryan Bartow can go anywhere in between. Like, let's have that foresight to make those type of moves. But what you guys want to do with Odell is you guys want to keep him around until he's old, sick. Obviously, I'm just talking in, hyperbole or whatever the case. But y'all want to wait till he's limping on the track instead of saying, your best days are behind you. Let's find something else for you to do. That's all I'm saying. But the numbers are there. And again, we might not think it's fair that I'm comparing Odell and Florida State to the top programs, but just not that long ago, we were the top program or one of the top programs. And we don't get to change where we're located. We have to recruit against these programs. Alabama signs receivers, man, but we're able to get blue chip receivers in that same time span. Hold on, I got it written down. In that same time span, FSU was signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue chip receivers. In that same time span, we've actually signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue chip offensive linemen, which is another premium position, just to compare sort of apples to apples, as one would say. Of course, DBs, we kill it at the DB, so I'm not going to count all those. And linebackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 linebackers, blue chip level. That's all I'm saying, man. You can't say that the program has been bad, and that's an excuse for Odell when the rest of the The rest of the position groups don't have a problem recruiting blue chip caliber prospects. The only position that we really don't recruit blue chips in is tight end. I mean, is that a shock to anybody? Florida State's never been a tight end school. In that same time span, we only recruited two blue chip tight ends. That's Nasir Upshur and Cam McDonald. That's it. Quarterback would be the next worst. That's Malik Henry, Bailey Hockman, and Chubba Purdy. In that same time frame, there's only 4-star or up quarterbacks we recruited in that time frame, which shows. But Odell's the one constant out of all of those position groups. See, you can make that argument that we've had a lot of turnover and turmoil in the program. Because, let's see, we've had 3 different wide receiver coaches here. We went from Lawrence Dawsey to David Kelly, to Ron Dugans within that same time span. Different running back coaches in that same time span, different offensive line coaches in that same time span, from Greg Fry to Clements to now Atkins. Different linebacker coaches in that different DB coaches in that time span. Odell's been the constant. So if I'm a high school recruit, how do I not look at Odell Haggins and say, hey, Florida State can have 15 coaching changes in 1 year, but the one guy that's probably going to remain there is Odell Haggins. I think I have no problem recruiting for Odell because I know I'm going to play for Odell for my whole career. But that doesn't seem to have worked for Odell when it comes to recruiting, has it? It doesn't seem like it. I'm not saying break loyalty with the man. I'm not saying we still can't appreciate and everything he's done. Quite frankly, don't even be mad at me. Be mad at Florida State. Because here's something that nobody wants to talk about. And I touched on it in that video. I didn't touch on it on the video I posted, but if you go watch the live stream, I brought it up. Well, Florida State should have did. Again, this is hindsight talking. When Jimbo quit, Odell should have been the head coach. Odell should have been the head coach. That's what they should have done. Odell would have signed for cheaper, probably had a cheaper buyout clause if it came to that. They could have put something elite around him. They had momentum at the end of that season with Odell getting us into a bowl game and then winning the bowl game. It was set up for Odell to just take the reins until FSU could get the right guy. The problem was they thought who the right guy was just wasn't. And now here we are with Mike Norvell. Again, set up before. It is what it is. But you don't fire Willie Taggart for for Mike Norvell. It just is what it is. And Sniper Gang can say, oh, God, all he want. But again, so Odell would have been worse than Taggart is what you're telling me? Odell couldn't have transitioned Odell couldn't have been an easier transition from when you finally got the head coach you were really looking for. Because newsflash, Norvell wasn't Florida State's number 1 choice in the second go round. Sorry, if you believe that, you're absolutely wrong. They settled for Mike Norvell. Norvell wasn't the guy they wanted initially. That's a fact. What they should have did was give that thing to Odell. Odell eases it. And who knows? Everybody thought LSU holding on to Ed Orgeron was a joke, but LSU was smart. They didn't get their first and second choices, which their first choice was Jimbo Fisher. Their second choice was Todd Herman, believe it or not, if you were following that LSU coaching hire. They said, okay, we can't get those guys. We're not just going to go sign some guy out of the group of 5. We'll keep Ed O, and we'll put big money around him, big-time coordinators. They ended up winning a national championship. You could have did the same thing with Odell. I'm not saying Odell wins a natty, but I believe the program would have been of a lot better hands. The program would have been of a lot better hands had we gave Odell the head coaching job. So that's just to show you guys that I'm not sitting here hating on Odell or I just want Odell out of the program. I think FSU did him wrong by not giving Odell the job. But now he's not even doing his defensive tackle duties in the proper way, in my opinion. And it didn't help. It didn't help that they tried to make him coach a 3-4, a 3-man front at one point under Willie. And I get it, man. It doesn't help. The turnover at defensive coordinators doesn't help. I'm not saying it helps. But again, Odell's the constant. If I'm a high school kid, I look at Odell as the constant and I say, I know he's going to be there. I can go play for him. Every recruit you talk to has nothing but great things to say about Odell Haggins. He's the GOAT. He's one of the best ever, all time. Those same recruits never signed to play for him. Tywone Malone said those same things about Odell Haggins. He's just amazing. I love me some Odell. And yet he went to go play for Ole Miss. When's the last Ole Miss defensive tackle you can name ever being anything? Kim Dichie? That's the only one you can think of in the last 20 years. And after what? He didn't do nothing. He hasn't been doing anything in the NFL up to this point. This isn't an Odell. This is I didn't come on here to say these things just to be controversial. I did know that it would raise some eyebrows posting that video. I knew it would raise some eyebrows. It would raise the temperature in the room. But I think as Florida State fans, we need this discussion, man. We need this discussion. And all I'm asking is to put emotion to the side for 5 seconds and look back and say, man, he's being out-recruited by, but take that back. He's definitely not being out-recruited by the defensive tackle coach up at Pitt, but he's being coached circles around. Look what that guy's doing with less. Imagine what that guy does with FSU's resources up at Pitt. And I hear you, Dan Squatch. I'm monitoring the comments. He deserves grace to make that decision himself. Fine. So did Bobby. But if you think Bobby, as a matter of fact, it came out after the fact that Bobby really didn't make the decision to leave. He was pretty much forced out. Unfortunate, but it happened. Now, Odell's on a lesser scale. I don't think you have to force out a defensive tackle. But if Norvell wants to play his cards right, I don't know. I don't think he would just flat out fire Odell. I don't think that's a smart move necessarily. Because, I just said that maybe he's time to part ways. And the fan base, I got 5 dislikes. People cussing me out in the comments. Y'all came in here ready to get on my neck. Got it. So imagine what kind of backlash Norvell would get. So I hear you. Give him that grace to make that decision himself. But sometimes, and we've seen it throughout history, the GOATs don't know when to let it go. Muhammad Ali, to this day, and you guys know I love me some P-Dub, but to this day, Muhammad Ali is the only athlete that I would say I idolize or hold in some type of reverence. The man was, in my opinion, Ali was a walking God amongst men, and that's a lot to put on a man, but whatever. That's how I feel about Ali. Got it? In saying that, Ali didn't know when to let it go. Larry Holmes was beating his ass at the end of his career. Ali didn't know when to stop. Jordan comes back with the Wizards because he just doesn't know when to stop. Roy Jones was still fighting, and I'm talking about not this past Mike Tyson fight, but he was still fighting about 2 years ago in actually competitive fights because he didn't know when to stop. So if you give Odell the grace period, fine. But he's not just going to quit. Sometimes you just got to find a new area, man. A new area for a guy. So that's just the way I look at it. That's really all I got. And again, I'm just saying, man, take a step back, look at it, and you choose for yourself. Choose for yourself. But I see the chat has been jumping, so I do want to get to the chat. And again, hit the like button if you haven't already. So I'm going to scroll up here. I want to get to the chat and see what some of you guys are talking about. But it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is. I don't even know where to start. You guys been going off. FSU Rose. Trust me, anytime Travis Hunter is mentioned on another team board, somebody on FSU board freaks out. I guess they're talking about Travis Hunter to UM. I don't know. Again, I don't know what drugs guys are smoking on, but yeah, okay. Odell lately has been recruiting DNs and trying to convert them to D tackles. And that's another point. I think I may have touched on it a little bit in that last little rant or explanation, whatever you want to call it. But again, Odell's philosophy recently is I can't sign any defensive tackles. Now I'm going to take Joshua Farmer. I'm going to take Chambry Jackson. At one point, they were saying that Quayshawn Fuller, even though apparently Quayshawn Fuller is having a hell of a spring and playing very well at DN, but at one point there were talks of putting a lot of weight on Quayshawn Fuller and moving him inside, putting weight on Curtis Fan and moving him inside. These are all jumbo defensive ends that I guess you want to try to pack weight on and put them at defensive tackle. Okay, for one, it's not necessarily a terrible plan, but then you have to understand when you go that route, when you're talking about taking a kid that's coming out of high school 260 and putting, if you want him to be an effective tackle, again, unless we're talking Aaron Donald, and you would know if they were Aaron Donald, none of those guys are Aaron Donald. So no, they can't play D tackle at 260, 270. So we're talking about putting at least 20, 30 pounds, probably more so 40 pounds on a kid the right way, sculpting his body the right way, right nutrition, right. That's not a process that happens in one spring, one fall camp. I like Joshua Farmer. I think the kid has a hell of a work ethic and could be a really good player. He will not be a major contributor at D tackle this year, weighing 270 pounds. And he's not going to put on the proper weight to be effective at that position in one offseason, unless he's special. And we'll see. He could be a 3-star who actually is special. It's possible. Donald was a 3-star. I'm not saying it's impossible. Farmer could be that guy. Don't get me wrong. But more times than not, when we're talking in general, when we're talking about the overall numbers here, no. It takes 2 to 3 years to transform that body into the type of body you need to be effective at that position. So again, the plan's right, but when you're saying 2 to 3 years of development, what are you recruiting in the meantime? If those guys need 2 to 3 years, what are you doing in the meantime? Chambry Jackson and Joshua Farmer most likely will give you nothing this year. And that's not because they're bad players, but they are being moved positions. And we're not talking about moving from DB to wide receiver. We're talking about moving positions and where they need to enhance their strength and body size dramatically. Panama says, Island Boy, I think he is still a quality defensive line coach. And to his defense, FSU has been on a steady decline since Jimbo left. POLK, not Odell fault. We've been losing since 2016. If you go on Apple, okay, I already read Dan Squatches there. You Can't Handle the Truth says, y'all stop trying to save this man. The proof's in the pudding. It's time, period. We trying to kick Odell out. We're not trying to kick him out, but we are trying to. I'm trying to help ease the blow when it happens, if it happens. Again, I'm not asking to throw him to the wolves or take him behind the shed, like Dan Squad said, and old yell him. I'm not trying to old yell at him, but I am trying to move him around. Defensive, recruiting coordinator or something. I know we have a pretty damn recruiting coordinator, but you can never have too. Alabama has 1 million people on the staff, some without even titles. They're just there. You can do the same thing with Odell and make him a defensive analysis, something like that. There's a lot of things that you can do with Odell and keep him still tied to FSU. But his days at D-line may just be numbered. Tyler says the numbers speak for themselves. We aren't getting D tackles. 2 years without a true D tackle is killing us. Odell needs to pull some dogs this year. And this is the year. So if we want to hold on, this is the only year I can hold on. Tyler brings up a solid point. This is the only year I can give him. Because he just said 2 years without a real defensive tackle, which is a fact. We can't go 3. And right now, somebody want to tell me the defensive tackle we're in the running for as of right now? We got 2 5-star DBs. We're in the running for all these big-time defensive ends. We got 3 quarterbacks that are going to be at the spring game. A 5-star wide receiver, I think he's going to be at the spring game. We're even in the running for some big-time offensive linemen. I can't name a defensive tackle FSU's in the running for this upcoming recruiting season. Only one I could think of was the kid out of Louisiana. He was Destin Hill's teammate. And I think he's announcing soon or has announced. I don't know. And from what I'm hearing, that's LSU all the way from what I'm hearing. In Panama, again, man, I hear you. You say you can't recruit talent with subpar records. And I know some of these are old comments. So if you've already changed your position, just go with me here. These are old comments. I'm pretty behind on the comments, but I did want to get to what everybody is saying. But other positions on that, again, other positions at FSU has still been able to recruit blue chip talent, and we haven't played exceptionally well. Ryan King says FSU fans accepting mediocrity. SEC sells, period. It's where the best guys go to play, and these kids know it. Hell, South Carolina, there you go. You can't handle the truth. I mean, again, Ole Miss, South Carolina, are we really this is what we're really up against. Okay, now I didn't do these numbers, but maybe I should have. If you don't want me to do Bama, Georgia, and Clemson, fine. Let's try South Carolina, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Let's try some of those programs and see how the numbers stack. I would assume off of first glance, FSU probably has more blue chips than some of those programs, but I would almost guarantee you that they have more depth at their positions than we do. Odell isn't going anywhere. POLK is clearly hungover. What's up? Shout out to Pat, man. Pat's crazy. Island Boy says, I don't like the move of switching DNs to D tackles. That the guys coming in like Chambry and them needs to stay at DN. I've always been the same way. I don't like the move either. Again, unless these kids understand that they need 3 years, that they may not see the field until their redshirt junior year, because that's how long that body transformation is going to take for them to be effective, then fine. But if Chambry Jackson thinks he's going to come into Florida State and play defensive tackle year 1, he's out of his mind. He's going to get demolished in the trenches by those guards. Absolutely crushed. Odell got to kick rocks. FSU can damn near recruit for itself off the name. We get a good D tackle coach and it's over. He can't. Tay says he can't relate to these kids. Rose says facts. That's a bad move on Odell is doing, and in my opinion, a sign he's losing his ability to recruit the trenches. Speaking of converting those DNs to D tackles, nepotism is killing Florida State. Absolutely. And Panama's really still stuck on the record, and I get it. I'm not saying we've won a lot of games in that time span. I'm only counting what Odell's doing recruiting, because he's been the constant. And all these other positions who have had changeover at coaching every other year almost. Again, from 2016, we've recruited. Has there been an O-line worse than Florida State since 2016? We've recruited more blue chip offensive linemen than defensive tackles. Yet our O-line has been terrible since 2016. So we're actually recruiting better O-linemen than defensive tackles. I don't know, man. Who is his replacement? Don't jump out of the planes without a parachute. If my first pick would be trying to get the guy out of Pitt. I think his name is what's his name? Parchment. We talked about it on the live stream. Go back and watch it. I think his name is Parchment, the Pitt defensive tackle coach. That would be my first guy that I would go for. I don't care about these old MS feelings. Fire a bad coach when he's bad at his job. If not, keep living with these results. We can't go another year without signing a true defensive tackle. And that's really where I'm at. And it was really what caused me to make this video, Tyler. Again, we want to keep him, fine. But 2 years without a defensive tackle. If he goes on 3 years without a defensive tackle, what's the excuse? What's the excuse then? I'm going to skip up in the chat a little bit. So I'm not getting too far behind, and you guys might be answering some of my questions. So I'm going to skip up here a little bit. Let's skip up to Panama says 49 in the chat, the like button. T2Y better drop a video on that recruiting class. They only got one guy recruited. But I'm not going to turn this into a Miami thing because that's what them guys want. But shout out to Miami for having one whole player recruited, committed to their team right now. And y'all just arguing with the Kane trolls. Get Pitt D-line coach and have – there you go. Pitt's defensive line coach is – now, it's debatable. There's some other guys out there, but that guy's one of the best in the country, if not the best. What's the Lions kid rated? I'm not sure who we're talking about there. Adrian Thomas says, who you bringing to replace Odell? He still has some chance. He still has some cachet with his resume. See, and that's the thing. We're all counting on Odell's resume, and that's fine. Odell has an impeccable resume. He's got an impeccable resume. Odell's got, again, I named them: Corey Simon, Travis Johnson, Darnell Dockett, Timmy Jernigan, Eddie Goldman, Derek Nandi, Everett Dawkins, Niall Lawrence Stamper, DeMarcus Christmas. Odell's got all of those guys, man. And I believe every guy I just named got drafted. Maybe with the exception of like a DeMarcus Christmas, maybe. I don't recall if DeMarcus Christmas got drafted or not. I feel like he did. But I think every guy I just named got drafted and played in the league. But that's all we're banking on. If you're defending Odell, that's the only thing you can bring up to defend him is what he did 10, 15, 20 years ago. Corey Simon, that's 20 years ago. Travis Johnson and them guys are damn near 15, 20 years ago. Darnell Dockett, 20 years ago. Eddie Goldman and Mario Edwards and Timmy Jernigan, those boys are damn near going on a decade ago. This is a what have you done for me lately business. I went back 5 years, right? But, I mean, the last 3 years says it all. Destin Hill's cousin committed to LSU. There you go. That was a defensive tackle I think I was talking about. What have you won in 20? Okay, there's more Miami argument there. Only D tackle FSU recruiting is Cleveland, who just decommitted from the Canes, and I think Cleveland's a 3-star, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I only go by the composite, and if I'm not mistaken, Cleveland's only a 3-star. Not saying I don't want them. At this point, I would love to have a true defensive tackle in the building, so I would take them in a heartbeat. But damn, there you go. Rose answering my questions. Who's Odell even in the running for defensive tackle wise? Not a soul. And the one guy that we thought maybe the true blue chip out of Louisiana, he's an LSU kid. Listen, man, eventually Norvell's job will be on the line. And do y'all think he's going to be sentimental about Odell's tied to FSU when he knows that he and his family have to? Wayne Tillman's not lying there. And Wayne loves Odell, knows him personally. But he's not lying. Sooner or later, you have to make the move. In my opinion, if you do it now and you don't do it now where you can still move him to, again, inside the program, defensive analysis, whatever, keep him inside the program, give him a job. And I don't necessarily, look, you're Odell Haggins. You have a resume like his. No, you're not going to feel great about Norvell coming to you and asking you about that. I get it. No, he's not going to be happy about being asked to move on. But it's either that or you fire him. Or it's either that or you wait another 5 years, or we go 3 years without signing a true defensive tackle, 4 years with signing one defensive tackle, and then where are we at? That position group's depleted, getting blown off the ball. Yeah, we want to recruit defensive ends because they're the glory position on that defensive line, but the glue of a defense is in the middle. So that's just me. Yeah, they definitely could have made him the head coach. That's how I feel. Should have probably made him the head coach from the jump. I think we'd be in a lot different position. And then, even if Odell wasn't successful, because I know everybody's like, you calling for his job, but you want him to be the head. Even if he wasn't successful, it's a lot easier. I think the entire fan base as a whole could have looked at it and said, we gave Odell a shot at head coach at his alma mater. Not too many guys get that opportunity. He just wasn't good. Nobody would have been outraged if Odell had gotten fired. I don't even think FSU would have fired him. I think they would have gave him his contract. They would have respected Odell enough, I believe, to give him his 3 years on his contract, because they wouldn't have assigned him no more than 3 years. And in the meantime, we would have been probably looking for a bigger name. We all know Odell would have been a intern head coach, but it is what it is. It works, in my opinion, it just works either way. You give him the reins with very little expectation, and then if he's amazing, you got an amazing coach for cheap. And if he's not so much, you're not paying $20 million for him to go coach in Boca. FSU didn't know where they was going after 2017. Norvell gave us something to look forward to positively. FSU had no choice but to get better. If FSU got into the top 90 in rushing yards, that's an improvement. I'm not sure what that response is to Sniper. What up, Antonio? If y'all ain't grow up playing D-tackle, you ain't playing D-tackle. Simple. That's a whole different mindset, motor, and size. And to be honest, hold on, chat skipped on me. To be honest, Odell been stinking up the joint. Damn, I wanted Brandon Cleveland to stay committed to the Canes, then flip to us on signing day. Yeah, Alabama gonna be 52. Okay, y'all talking about other stuff. No, Cleveland was gone once we hired Coach Simpson. He got the message. Let's settle. Okay, y'all are really going on and on with these guys. How do you get mad at Willie Taggart for not signing any QBs, but don't get mad at Odell for not signing any defensive tackles? Make it make sense. The only reason they get mad at one and not the other is because, again, the name. If I take resumes of coaches and I just erase the names and I throw Odell's resume up there, 90% of the fan base would be like, oh, this guy's been – they'd look at that first part of his career and be like, oh, this man was big time. But he's really fallen off a cliff here in the last 4 or 5 years, maybe 6. He's really fallen off a cliff here. Yeah, the team hasn't had success, but these other coaches are doing a pretty decent job recruiting their positions in the same program. But this guy, and then as soon as you put Odell up there, oh, wait a minute. Now, I didn't mean anything I just said. I'm just saying. Nah, man, the truth is the truth. Get rid of the name, and the resume speaks for itself. His entire career, yes, we know what he is. Jordan's entire career makes him the GOAT. His Wizard years, no one brings it up. And he was still pretty damn good in his Wizard years, by the way, but the truth is the truth. No one brings it up for a reason. He was almost a shell of himself. Same thing with Ali. The 60s, he's the GOAT. Even part of the early 70s. Once you start talking about the late 70s to the 80s, Ali was hard to watch. Our top two guys are Bishop, Thompson, and Lyons for defensive tackle. I'll check both of those out and see if there are any, Odell needs to go fishing. Cleveland is a 4-star. Okay, so he is a 4-star. Then that's my mistake, but my mistake. He's a 4-star. I'll definitely take him. I don't care if he was a 3-star. I wouldn't take him. I thought the last time I checked, he was a 3-star on the 247 composite, but I could, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Adrian says Bags recruit D tackles. I don't think FSU has really been committed to the program. Not many dominant D tackles in any given recruiting cycle. Are we blaming it on the Bags? The Bags only recruit defensive tackles, but they don't. The Bags didn't matter when we were recruiting offensive linemen. They didn't matter when we were recruiting DBs, linebackers, wide receivers, all positions that have been recruited better than defensive tackle. I don't know. Composite has Cleveland as a 4-star. Okay, am I my fault for saying that Cleveland was a 3-star? I apologize. And out of the whole 20 years, okay, they're still talking about Miami. I was pissed when we missed out on Malone. Time for Odell to go and Leonard Hamilton as well. I'm not gonna get on Leonard Hamilton, man. Leonard Hamilton that's a whole different conversation, man. Is the basketball program even cared about if it's not for Leonard Hamilton? I'm not here to talk basketball because I don't have the connection to it that I have for the football team. To me, no, you don't fire Leonard Hamilton. But if you're a diehard FSU basketball fan, like maybe you feel that way. Maybe you feel like Hams brought it to this level, and now we need to Bobby Bowden them and bring in, I don't know, maybe a more certified coach. I don't know. Serve says, let's be real about the fact that a lot of people want Odell to stay. But like you say, Polk, the man is not recruiting players for the deep tackle position. Time for new blood. Again, it's all I ask, erase your emotions for 2 seconds and just look at the facts. If you can look at the facts and then say, I still want Odell to say, then you have all that right, and that's all your opinion. Understand what you're settling for. You're settling for very, very mediocre results at the defensive tackle position. You're settling for not recruiting any in the last 2 years, going on 3 years now. That's what you're settling on. Polk, please give my man 3 more years. Say you want 3 more years, Panama. Man, I'm not making the calls. I don't know if he has 3 more years, though. Man, his resume is getting weaker. I agree, man. You got to know what time to cut your losses and move on. Oh, hold on. Chat skipped on me. What am I wearing? A members only t-shirt? I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. I found this. It's actually gray. I think somebody said it was turquoise. This is actually a gray polo type thing, but the Florida. I just wore it. I just put on some clothes. Look, man, don't be looking at my clothes. Pat coming here with foolishness. Who cares about my... And I wear the same hat all the time. Todd likes the hat. Todd always says he likes the hat. Come on now. Just Fuller this year, make or break. Fuller's definitely make or break, Peter. Is Odell not make or break? I mean, quick question. Seriously, if Odell goes 3, if we don't sign if we miss out, if he whiffs on any defensive tackle this year, or let's say he signs 1 3-star defensive tackle from Willacoochee, Georgia, ranked 600 and something in the nation. Seriously. Is this not a make or break year for Odell? Does Odell not need some real firepower at that position this recruiting cycle? Am I wrong? Because they probably Fabian Lovett and Robert Cooper are probably gone this year. Who the hell's going to play defensive tackle for us next year if we don't recruit something and something that can probably come in and play day one snaps if need be? Not a guy that we have to put 50 pounds on. I mean, come on, guys. This is a make or break year for Fuller, Odell, Dugans, Coach Marv at linebacker. There's a lot of questions. If Odell's name was Adam Fuller, the fan base would be quick to find. Yeah. If Odell's name was Odarius Hagginson, people would not care. If it said Odarius Hagginson, people wouldn't give a damn about that resume. They'd be like, man, fire this guy right now. You need elite D tackles plus quality depth. Trust me, we still searching for that in Miami. Without that, your defense as a whole will never be elite. He's not wrong, man. Maiden day speaking truth. Yeah, so, man, the spring game is supposed to be crazy right now with recruits. I'm hearing they're having a problem selling out with fans, which I don't know if that's too surprising with COVID, even though if you guys haven't noticed, COVID is all but over. The world is opening up every week. People aren't caring about masks or any kind of restrictions anymore. But we still got till April 10th. I think they'll have a decent showing. I don't know why people necessarily want Ham fired, but he loses to the number 1 seed Michigan Wolverines and everybody's pissed. I didn't think they were winning that game. I actually made $20 off of that game because I picked Michigan. Sorry to say it, but I don't know why people are mad that we lost. It's not now if we would have got upset in the first round by Greensboro. Okay, maybe you make a case. We lost to the number 1 Michigan Wolverines in a game that I didn't think we were going to win. We definitely need better point guard play going forward for the basketball team. I think that's what killed us in this tournament. Didn't have good point guard play at all. Leonard Hamilton took us to the Sweet 16 3 times in a row and has maybe his best class ever coming in. There you go. What you talking about, Odell can't relate to the kids. The man got an FSU rap song. That shirt is turquoise. This shirt is gray. I don't know what you guys are seeing on the camera. This is a gray shirt. I'm telling you, the shirt is gray. Let me see. The shirt is gray. It's not turquoise. Is it? Maybe I can't see. I've gone my entire adult life thinking this shirt is gray. Are you guys making me read? Am I colorblind? I swear this shirt is gray. I'm gonna ask my wife or something. I think the shirt is gray. If you have to choose one to go, Fuller, Odell. If I had to pick one right now, I'd pick Adam Fuller. If you made me pick one right now, I'd pick Adam Fuller. Don't change my stance on Odell, but if I had to pick one now, it'd be Fuller. Scotty needs to go to the pros. Like I know we want to think that Scotty's gonna come back, but Scotty will be fine. Maiden Day says I'm colorblind. No. Y'all messing with me. This is a gray shirt. It does look turquoise when I look at it on this camera. But in person, I'm telling y'all, this is gray. Rewatch the show. That shirt blue. On the camera, I agree. The shirt looks blue. I'm looking at it on the camera right now. Yes, it does have like a blue hue or blue tinge to it. I'm telling you guys, in person, the damn shirt is gray. You know what? We're not going to talk. We're not talking about my shirt anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm taking this shirt off. Y'all getting on my nerves. Worried about my damn shirt. actually bullied me into taking my shirt off. That's some shit. I don't let these fools bully me into taking my shirt off. I don't even know where I threw my hat. Now we can all agree that this is a Garnet shirt, right? Okay. I'll be damned. It says white and gold. These fools done bully me into changing shirts on live stream. I think FSU fans are pissed because the ACC was handed to us. How often do you have a year when Duke, UNC is down, UVA catches COVID in the tournament? That's true too. The ACC was definitely handed us to us, and we couldn't win the regular season championship. We couldn't win the tournament championship. You're not wrong there. And everybody's talking about my shirt. Looks turquoise on this side. It's white and gold. The dress all over again. Who brought up? I think Pat, your ass brought the shirt up. POLK, if the shirt is blue, then your hat is black. I'm done. Ain't really garlic. It's maroon. Okay. Yeah, I'm not changing this shirt, but whatever. I'm telling you, that was a great. We're done. We're done with the shirt. We're done with Odell, and we're done with this episode of the Hangover because I got that thing back there. I'm finna go play me some PlayStation 5. If you ain't got one, you might need to get you one. But on the real note, guys, that's really my case for Odell. Again, I'm not trying to necessarily sway anybody's opinion. I am just trying to believe. I'm just trying to present some facts, and at the end of the day, pick and choose. You either on the Odell train or you're not. I just presented with you some blatant facts, and I just think it might be time for the man to hang it up. If some of you guys, if we want to hang on to him to another 3-4 years, I have pity on Florida State. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I am going to do that. That was actually, somebody gave me that idea. Also, I saw other guys like Mark Rogers do that. And I was like, you know what? I did a 4-hour live stream. I can get a week's worth of content off of that. So definitely going to pick some more topics out of that live stream and continue the videos. Series X, nobody plays that crap. If you play first of all, if you play Xbox, you're not American. I know it's Microsoft, but real Americans play PlayStation. Terrorists play Xbox. It's been a documented fact. So there you have that. And yeah, Dennis, look, if you don't have, you better get you one. Now, my wife got me that one off of GameStop. They were able to get into GameStop and actually get one. Because I told you guys I was not paying $600, $700, $800. They weren't going to break me, these resellers. So that's retail at a GameStop. I would just keep checking because they're supposed to drop. Now, I think GameStop said they're not getting any more to the fall. I think GameStop said they're not getting any more to the fall. But check around to your Walmarts, your Targets. Just keep calling and bugging them. And recently they've been releasing them. I think somebody's supposed to get a decent amount in April. You just got to be quick with it. And if you're still trying to get one, for instance, let's say you find out that next week Best Buy is selling them. Don't do it yourself. Get you, if you have a wife, girlfriend, some cousins, your mom, whoever, get about 3-4 people with their phones out on the computer, and all of y'all got to try to get in there and get one. That's how we ended up getting one. You got to do it that way with these people using these bots and all that stupid stuff like that. I'll get a PS5 when NCAA football come out. I'm on his train, but his years are limited. Hell, if y'all can bully POLK into changing clothes, maybe y'all can. No, y'all ain't gonna bully my thoughts on Odell. It is what it is, but y'all did bully me into changing my shirt. I actually feel some type of way about that. I thought we were a family over here. I thought we were a family, and I see that no longer. Are we a family? FSU and Florida are my I don't know what T2Y trying to say right there. And Maiden Day says that shit is tough to. Yeah, it is. No, it's definitely tough to get. You gotta again get you some friends, a girlfriend. I mean, if your kids are old enough, put a phone in your kids' hands and get everybody out there at the same time and just click until you can try to get one in the cart. Do not me personally. I can't tell you guys how to spend your money, but don't support these resellers, man. Don't buy it from these resellers. Please make them have to swallow. Don't buy it from these resellers. I can't tell you how to spend your money, but just for the working man, just try not to. If you're desperate, get one. Hey, it's your money. You spend it how you want. I got a homeboy who says Walmart has them in the warehouse until they start releasing them again. Man, you better tell you if he work in the Walmart warehouse, you better tell your homeboy to see if he can finesse one. I remember, I can say this now because I haven't worked. It shows you how old I am. I used to work at Circuit City when those were actually a thing. Which, if you don't know, if you're on the younger side of things, Circuit City was pretty much what Best Buy is today. Almost the same exact store. One was blue, one was red. Circuit City was the red one. I used to work at Circuit City, and I used to work in the back and get TVs. And yeah, I used to finesse games and stuff all the time. If a game came out I wanted, I would just slide it in my pocket and call it a day. I can finally get some shoes now. That was so shady. That's so shady. A Nike exec was like the founder or like the head honcho in a reselling company. Man was double dipping like a mug. They could have did the same thing with Odell at head coach like they did with Bobby and Jimbo. The FSU will beat Notre Dame first game. And Island Boy says he remembers Circuit City. There you go. But I want to keep this one short. I do try to keep my hangovers a little shorter than the live streams. So yeah, if y'all want that good live stream content, man, that triple shot, that's gonna keep coming to you guys. And we have a good time on that. Again, you can see what we were talking about. I'm gonna keep uploading some more highlights of that live stream. Yeah, we went a little long, but we started at about 9:00. Yeah, we go a little long, but man, you grab your drinks. We have some good conversations. We have fun. We talk about each other. That triple shot live stream is a very fun time, and we have some pretty decent conversation. As far as the hangover goes, I want to keep this one short. So because I want to make these more more listener friendly. No one's going to sit there and listen to 4 hours, but you'll probably tune in for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So thank everybody for coming out and supporting the Hangover podcast. Hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't hit it already on your way in. And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, guess what? We are so close to 1,000. I can taste it. We're at 992. We're 8 away from 1,000. I can taste it, man. Let's get that. Let's get 1,000. Let's get 1,000. Spring game coming up soon. I'll have some more. Might have a key interview coming up here very soon. Still working on that. I don't want to give that one away. Might have a young FSU prospect coming on the channel in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that. But hey, man, thanks everybody who tuned in. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. A.Lo, a.k.a. the goddamn truth, a.k.a. the PS5 guru. It's another one of my new titles, the PS5 king. So all you peasants might want to step your game up. But in all seriousness, and no more bullying on this channel. Y'all really made me change shirts. I feel some type of way. I'm gonna go drown my sorrows on the PS5. But thanks to everybody who tuned in, man. Stay classy, Seminoles. And we are out here. Everybody have a good night.